Before America was a nation, before it had banks, armies, or even an identity, there was a boy born in the heat of the Caribbean, surrounded by poverty, storms, and shame. His name was Alexander Hamilton, and his story is proof that greatness doesn't come from where you're born. It comes from what you're willing to build. Hamilton was born on a small island called Nevis in 1755. He was illegitimate, a child the world didn't want. His father abandoned the family. His mother died when he was just a teenager, and he was left to survive on his own. While most children his age were learning to live, Hamilton was learning to fight against hunger, humiliation, and despair. But he had one weapon that no one could take away: his mind. At 14, Hamilton was working as a clerk in a trading company, managing ships, ledgers, and trade routes, the kind of work that would shape his economic genius later in life. When a hurricane destroyed his island, Hamilton wrote a letter describing the devastation, a letter so beautifully written, so full of emotion and intellect, that the local community took up a collection to send him to America for education. That was the moment destiny opened its door. He arrived in New York in 1773, young, broke, and ambitious. He had no family name, no money, no safety net, but he had words sharper than any sword. When revolution began to stir, Hamilton's pen became his weapon. He wrote essays that challenged British authority, ignited public debate, and caught the attention of powerful men, including George Washington. Washington saw in him not just intelligence, but fire, a rare combination of brilliance and unyielding determination. Soon, Hamilton became Washington's aide-de-camp, his voice, his strategist, and his most trusted ally. On the battlefield, Hamilton saw what freedom cost. He saw men die for a dream that did not yet exist. But for Hamilton, it wasn't enough to win the war. He wanted to win the future. After the Revolution, America was free but fragile, drowning in debt, divided by politics, and uncertain of its direction. Hamilton saw chaos, and where others saw ruin, he saw potential. He envisioned a strong central government, a stable economy, and a nation that could compete with the empires of Europe. He built the foundations of the American financial system, the U.S. Treasury, the National Bank, and a credit structure that turned weakness into power. In just a few years, he transformed America from a collection of colonies into a functioning nation. Hamilton's genius was unmatched, but so was his ambition. He was brilliant, yes, but also blunt, impulsive, and often arrogant. He fought fiercely with Thomas Jefferson over the direction of the country. Hamilton's vision of a modern, industrial America clashing with Jefferson's dream of an agrarian republic. Their battles weren't just political, they were philosophical. They defined what America would become. But greatness comes with a price. Hamilton's boldness earned him both respect and enemies. Rumors, scandals, and relentless opposition haunted him. And in the end, it wasn't a foreign power that destroyed him, it was pride. His rivalry with Aaron Burr spiraled out of control. When Burr challenged him to a duel in 1804, Hamilton knew the cost, but he accepted anyway. At dawn, on the banks of the Hudson River, two of America's most powerful men faced each other. Hamilton fired into the air. Burr did not. A single shot ended the life of one of the greatest minds in American history. He died in agony, whispering to his wife Elisa, the woman who would spend the next 50 years preserving his legacy. But here's what makes Hamilton's story eternal. He wasn't born into greatness. He built it. He came from nothing and gave everything. He took a new nation and gave it structure, order, and ambition. He designed systems that still run America today. Its banks, its economy, its philosophy of merit over birthright. In many ways, Hamilton embodied the American dream before the phrase even existed. He was proof that an outsider could change the world. And today, his face lives on the $10 bill, but his spirit lives in every immigrant, every dreamer, and every believer who dares to build something greater than themselves. Alexander Hamilton did not just help create a country. He created the idea that anyone, from anywhere, could shape history. He was not born into power. He built it. And in doing so, he built America.